Okay, a couple important things here when talking about the problems with equations of lines. First of all, you've probably seen slope-intercept form before, this thing up here. And what is that really good for? That's good for finding the slope. That's really what you want to do in these problems when you want to write the equation of a line, you want to find its slope. So you put it in that y equals mx plus b form. This point slope form, this next one, is great when you want to write an equation. So you're going to be asked to write the equation of a line, and probably the easiest form to write it is the point slope form. What you'll notice is that you got your x and your y, m is your slope. But let's talk about this thing h comma k. H comma k is what we're going to use to represent the point that's on that line. We use h and k because we don't want to confuse it with x and y. The x and the y are the x and y that determine the line. The h and the k are the special points. And the two other big things that we know, the slopes of parallel lines are equal, and then the opposite reciprocals for the perpendiculars. So let's get up a little bit. Start off by finding the slope of this line. So to find the slope of this line, we're going to put it in that y equals mx plus b form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And really, I don't care what the y-intercept is, I just want the slope. So even though my equation looks like this, I don't really care about the negative 7/4 at the end. All I want to know is what's my slope. So the slope of that line is 5/4. That's going to be the key thing, is that given an equation of a line, can you find its slope? Put it in the y equals mx plus b form, or at least get it so that you can find the slope easily. All right, let's roll. Here's some of the new stuff we're doing. We're going to write the equation of the line that contains the point 3, -2, and has a slope of -1/2. I'll kind of address this one first, then I'll let you try the bottom one on your own. So again, we're going to write the equation of a line. So I'm thinking I want to use this point slope form. I want to use this y equals m times x minus h plus k. So here's my slope, here's my h, here's my k. I plug them in. So it's y equals the slope, x minus the h value, the x value of the point. That's going to be 3. And then the k is the y value of the point, -2. I am done. That's my answer. So you get to try now. You want to write the equation of the line that is parallel to the line that's passed through the point -4, 6. So it's going to be parallel to this line here. Give it a shot. So again, we're going to use that y equals point slope form. So I'm going to go y equals, I'm going to take my slope, it's parallel. Parallel lines have same slope, right? That's an important thing to remember. So since they have the same slope, I'm going to use that slope of -1/2. Now, check this out. My h value here is -4. So it's x subtract -4. So as you recall from doing other arithmetic, that's going to simplify to x plus 4. And then I'm going to add my y value to the end, my k value. So this is the equation we should get. All right, so that was the equation of the line parallel to it. Let's do one that's perpendicular to it. And remember, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So the previous lines had a slope of -1/2. Let's see if you can write the equation of the perpendicular line. All right, so we know we're going to use that point slope form of a line, that y equals m times x minus h plus k. So doing that, we're going to take our slope, but we want perpendicular lines. So the slopes are going to be opposite reciprocals. So the slope of our perpendicular line is going to be +2. So now when we write our equation, we're going to get y equals the perpendicular line slope, 2 times x subtract the x value of the point, which is our h value, which is -4, so it's going to be x plus 4 plus 6. So be careful when you see perpendicular, you got to think slopes are opposite reciprocals. Alrighty, we should be in a good spot now. Are you ready to play? Here we go, baby. Writing the equation of a line parallel to this line passing through this point. Give it a shot. See what you can do. I hope you're just not clicking multiple choice answers. That would really make me angry. You should be doing some work. So, parallel. Parallel lines have same slopes. So I got to find the slope of this line. Let's see, if I got 3x minus 5y equals 13, I got to put it in the y equals form. So let's add 5y to both sides. I know, let's subtract 3x from both sides. That's a better thing to do, because I want to get y by itself. So I'm going to divide by -5, and here we go. I'm dividing by -5. I don't really care what the rest of it is. All I know is that my slope now is -3 over -5, or +3/5. So you need a lot of work to figure out the slope, because the point's given to you. That's your h, that's your k. So then if we're going to write the equation of the line, I'm going to use my point slope form, 3/5 times x plus 2. Notice now that I'm doing that x subtract -2 each time. So that x subtract -2 gives me the x plus 2 in the middle. All right, so that's a parallel one. Can you do one that's perpendicular? Give it a shot. Okay, if I want a line perpendicular to this line, again, I need its slope. So I don't care about even moving the 7. I'm just going to, we'll move the 7 anyway. We'll just do some fun things. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Here we go. I got my slope targeted. My slope is going to be 6 over 5. I don't care what the rest of it is. So I got my slope, but wait a minute. I need the perpendicular line. So the perpendicular slope is going to be its opposite reciprocal, -5 over 6. Let's write the equation now. We're going to go y equals -5 over 6. X plus 2, subtract 4. Okay, remember that's my h value, so when I do x subtract -2, it really becomes x plus 2. That's where I get that from in there. All right, our final one. Check this out. Whoa! Equation of the perpendicular bisector. Think about what that means. Perpendicular bisector means you got to find a midpoint. Because of that word bisector there, I need the midpoint. So that midpoint formula, here we go. I'm going to add up my x's. -2 plus 6 divided by 2, and then 8 subtract 2 divided by 2. So my midpoint, let's see, -2 plus 6 is 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. So the point that this line is going through is the point 2, 3. There's my h, there's my k. Well, now I need the slope. So I got to do my slope formula here too. Slope equals, that's an ugly looking m. There we go. 8 minus -2, subtract the y values. -2 minus 6, subtract the x values. I get a positive 10 over a -8. But I want the perpendicular slope. So I'm going to flip it. Write 8 over 10. You want to reduce it to 4/5? Why not? We can leave it as 8/10 if we want, but we'll reduce it to 4/5 because we like to reduce things. So now our equation, y equals, let's take our perpendicular slope, 4 over 5. Let's take our h and our k values, x minus 2 plus 3. There's our equation. So thanks for playing along with me. We got a worksheet now that we can go through our work. We can do some practice. Answers can be found on Google Classroom to that worksheet as well. Thanks for playing.